Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss one of the important theory which is related to geometry or shape of the molecule. Valence shell electron pair repulsion theory is simply called VSEPR theory. So this theory was proposed by Sedgwick and Powell. So on the basis of repulsive interaction of the electron pairs in the valence shell of atoms. After that, this theory was further developed by Naivom and Gillespie. So they can determine the geometry or shape of the molecule based on the number of electron pairs around the central atom in a molecule. So what are the important postulates of this valence shell electron pair repulsion theory? The first postulate is the shape of a molecule depends upon the number of valence shell electron pairs around the central atom. To determine the shape of the molecule, we have to know how many number of electron pairs are present around the central atom in a molecule. For example, methane molecule is there. So, in the methane molecule, around the carbon atom, 4 electron pairs are present. All the 4 electron pairs are participated in the bond formation. That means those electron pairs are called as bond pair of electrons. This bond pair of electrons are how many pairs are there? 4 pairs are there. Is there any pair of electron is not participating in the bond formation? No. That's why they are called the lone pair of electrons are 0. So, whatever the electron pairs are there around the central atom carbon, all are participated in the bond formation. So, these 4 are called as bond pair of electrons. No pair of electron present on the central atom. So, that means the lone pair of electrons are 0. Generally, around the central atom, if 4 pair of electrons are present, the geometry of that molecule is tetrahedral. So, for example, ammonia molecule is there, NH3. In the ammonia molecule, how many electrons are present? Nitrogen, 5 valency electrons. Hydrogen, 3 valency electrons. 5 plus 3, totally 8 electrons. 8 electrons means 4 electron pairs. 8 electrons means 4 electron pairs. So, these 4 electron pairs are present around the nitrogen atom. Out of the 4 electron pairs, the 3 electron pairs are participated in the bond formation with the hydrogen atom. But we had the 4, out of the 4, 3 are participated in the bond formation. One is remained as a lone pair. That means your bond pair of electrons are 3, lone pair of electrons, that is 1, present on the nitrogen. This is not participated in the bond formation. That's why 1 lone pair is present. Suppose if you take the water molecule, in the water molecule, oxygen has the 6 valency electrons. Each hydrogen has 1 valency electrons. Totally, the 6 plus 2, again 8 electrons and 4 pairs of electrons are present. So, these 4 pair of electrons, in that the 2 pairs of electrons are participated in the bond formation with oxygen and hydrogen, and the remaining 2 electron pairs present on the oxygen which do not participate in the bond formation. So here bond pair of electrons are 2, lone pair of electrons are 2. In all the 3 examples, ammonia molecule, methane molecule, water molecule, 4 pairs of electrons present around the central atom. But among these 4 pairs, in the methane molecule, all are participated in the bond formation. In ammonia molecule, only 3 are participated in the bond formation. In water molecule, only 2 are participated. That means, whatever the number of electrons presented around the central atom, they may or may not be participated in the bond formation. Which are participated in the bond formation, they are called bond pair of electrons. Which are not participated in the bond formation, they remain as a lone pair of electrons present on the oxygen atom. So, once we know the number of electrons pairs present around the central atom, it is easy to determine the shape of a molecule according to this theory. And the second one, okay, these electrons are present around the central atom, whether it may be bond pair or lone pair. So, all are electron pairs, all are carrying the negative charge. So, the similar charges are always repelled with each other. That's why, so because of the carrying the negative charge of these electron pairs, always they are try to repel with each other. That is our second postulate. Electron pairs in the valence shell tend to repel one another because electron clouds are negatively charged. All these electron pairs are carrying a negative charge, always they are try to repel from each other. The third postulate, electron pairs tend to occupy the positions in the space that minimize the repulsions. Therefore, they try to stay as far apart as possible to acquire a state of minimum energy and maximum stability. This is the third postulate. What they say that when these electron pairs are present around the central atom, they are always try to repel each other. So, because of that repulsion, they are occupying the positions in a space to minimize the repulsions. So, by occupying the position where we get the minimum repulsions, they can be tried to arrange like that. So, therefore, once they are arranging to minimize the repulsions, they are getting the minimum energy and maximum stability. In order to minimize the repulsions or to get the minimum energy or maximum stability, always they are trying to stay away from each other. That means in a molecule around the central atom, the electron pairs always try to away from each other to minimize the repulsions to get the minimum energy and maximum stability. So that is the third postulate. And fourth postulate, suppose if the valence shell is taken as a sphere with the electron pairs localizing on the spherical surface at a maximum distance from one another. So, around the central atom, that valence shell is considered as a sphere. On that sphere, these electron pairs are present. How they are present? By maintaining the maximum distance from one another. That means the valence shell is taken as a sphere. On that one, the electron pairs are present at a maximum distance from one another. And the other one is electron pairs in the multiple bonds are treated as single unit, like a single electron pair. That means, so all the time only the single electron pair may not be present, because in some of the molecule the multiple bond formation takes place between the atoms. In that cases, the multiple bond formation is treated as a single electron pair. For example, the methane molecule, you know, around the methane molecule, how many electron pairs are present? So the 4 bonds are there, 4 electron pairs are present. You say simply 4 electron pairs. Suppose in ammonia molecule, how many electron pairs are present? So 3 bond pairs, 1 lone pair. Totally 4 electron pairs are present. For example, in the carbon dioxide molecule, C double bond O, C double bond O. This is the carbon dioxide molecule. Here generally, if normally, how many bonds are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So by seeing the bond, generally what we say that 4 electron pairs are present. Not like that. Okay, this multiple bond can be treated as a single electron pair. So here 1 electron pair, these together are called 1 electron pair. This is also treated as a single unit, that is single electron pair. So 1 and 1, totally 2 electron pairs are present. Like that, they say that the electron pairs in multiple bonds are always treated as a single electron pair. So if the two electron pairs are there, then we can say the one so and so geometry. So like that, that is exactly matching. Suppose if we say the 4 electron pairs, so whatever the geometry, the 4 electron pairs geometry is there, that is not suitable to the carbon dioxide. That's why the electron pairs in the multiple bonds are treated as a single unit like single electron pair. If the double bond is there, that is treated as a only single electron pair. If triple bond is present, that is also will be treated as a single electron pair. This is the fifth postulate. Sixth postulate is repulsions between the lone pair and lone pair of electrons is different than that between the two bond pairs or one lone pair and one bond pair. That means in a molecule around the central atom, sometimes all the electron pairs are bond pairs. So sometimes lone pairs are present as well as bond pairs are present. Sometimes more than one lone pair is present. Okay. In that cases, the three types of the repulsions are exist. Suppose in a molecule, for example, methane. In methane, around the central atom, the 4 electron pairs are bond pairs. All are same type of electron pairs. So that here only one kind of repulsions are exist. What are that? Bond pair of repulsions. Suppose in case of ammonia molecule, in the ammonia molecule, so the 4 electron pairs are present, but here out of the 4 electron pairs, 3 are bond pairs, 1 is lone pair. So that's why here the repulsions are exist between bond pair and bond pair and bond pair and lone pair. That means there are two types of the repulsions. One is lone pair bond pair and bond pair repulsions. Suppose in the case of water molecule. In the case of water molecule, around the oxygen atom, 4 electron pairs are present. Out of the 4 electron pairs, so 2 are the lone pair of electrons, 2 are the bond pair of electrons. Here, 3 types of repulsions are possible. One is bond pair repulsions, and bond pair lone pair repulsions, and lone pair repulsions. The 3 types of the repulsions are possible. And that means in a molecule, either bond pair or bond pair lone pair and lone pair also, the repulsions are also present. That is depending upon the molecule and the number of electron pairs involved in the bond formation. But commonly, the 3 types of the repulsions we can say bond pair, lone pair, lone pair repulsions. When we see the strength of these repulsions, when we see the interaction of these repulsions, the lone pair repulsions are always stronger than lone pair bond pair repulsions than that of bond pair repulsions. Among these 3 types of repulsions, lone pair repulsions are always said to be strong. So the reason is, so when we see any lone pair of electrons, okay, they are under the influence of only one nuclei. But whereas the bond pair of electrons, they are under the influence of 2 nuclei or 2 atoms. So because of that, under the influence of the 2 atoms, so they are confined to a certain area. They never occupy the more space. Once they never occupy the more space, there is no possibility to interaction to a greater extent with its adjacent bond pair or lone pair. But in the case of the lone pair, this is under the influence of only one nuclei, so that it can occupy the more space. Due to occupying the more space, can easily interact with the other bond pair or lone pair. That's why the lone pair is always try to interact in a greater extent as compared to the bond pair. So when the 2 lone pairs are there, so these are occupying the more space, okay, so that they first try to interacting strongly compared to the lone pair and bond pair and bond pair and bond pair. That's why the lone pair and lone pair repulsions are always stronger than lone pair bond pair than that of bond pair. Then comes to the 7th. The presence of a lone pair of electrons in addition to the bond pairs will result in certain distortion in regular geometry of molecule. Generally, so around the central atom, in a molecule, if all the electron pairs are bond pairs, we get a regular geometry. As you are expected, the geometry is present. Suppose if the electron pairs are bond pairs and lone pairs are present around the central atom, so there should be some repulsions or exist. Two kinds of repulsions or three kinds of repulsions: lone pair, bond pair, and bond pair repulsions. We know that lone pair or lone pair, bond pair repulsions are stronger than which one? Bond pair and bond pair. They are responsible for the distortion of a geometry of molecule. That's why in a molecule, if the lone pair of electrons are present, definitely, so that molecule is deviated from its regular geometry because of that repulsions. And the eighth one, the repulsive forces decreases sharply with increasing bond angle between the electron pairs. So whenever the angle between the bond pair of electrons is larger, so they never repel with each other very strongly. That's why as the bond angle is increases, the bond pair of electrons are always try to away from each other so that the repulsive forces are decreases. When we are observing these repulsive interactions, the bond angle at 90 degrees very strong. When 90 to 120, the strength of the repulsive forces are decreases. At 120 it is said to be weaker, and 120 to 180 the repulsive forces strength further decreases, that is we say weakest at 180 degrees. That means as the bond angle is increases between the electron pairs, so the interaction between the electron pairs is decreases so that the repulsive forces decreases. So the repulsive forces are always strong at 90 degrees and weak at 120 degrees and weakest at 180 degrees. So these are some important postulates of the valency shell electron pair repulsion theory. This theory mainly says in a given molecule, once we know the number of electron pairs around the central atom in a molecule, it is possible to say what is the regular geometry. And also, if we know in that electron pairs how many bond pairs and how many lone pairs, okay, it is also help us to say what is the actual shape of a molecule. And one more important point is there, in some of the molecules are expected certain bond angle, but that bond angle is not there. So the bond angle may increases or maybe decreases. That is because of that repulsions between the lone pair, or lone pair, or bond pair. So like that, there are so many questions will be comes to our mind while we are discussing the shape of a molecule. To answer such questions, this valency shell electron pair repulsion theory is useful. Now, according to the first postulate, so by presence of the how many number of electron pairs and what is the geometry of that respective molecule, that is now we are going to be discuss. Suppose in a molecule, if two electron pairs are present around the central atom, for example, here say A is a central atom, around this the two electron pairs are present. So the geometry of a molecule is linear molecule. What is the shape? Is linear shape. Suppose if three electron pairs are present around the central atom, so the molecule is adopted the geometry trigonal planar. Trigonal planar with an angle 120 degrees. So the geometry is trigonal planar. If four electron pairs are present around the central atom, so the regular geometry is tetrahedral. That molecule can adopt the geometry tetrahedral with an angle, bond angle 109.5 degrees. If 5 electron pairs are present, so the molecule is adopted trigonal bipyramidal geometry. Trigonal bipyramidal geometry. This is a trigonal bipyramidal geometry. In this geometry, the two bond angles are possible One is 120 degrees and another one is 90 degrees. If 6 electron pairs are present around the central atom, the molecule adopted geometry is octahedral with a bond angle 90 degrees. 90 degrees. The geometry is octahedral. So this is the regular geometry of molecules based on the number of electron pairs. If 2 electron pairs are present around the central atom, so the geometry of a molecule is linear. What is the bond angle? 180. If 3 electron pairs are present around the central atom, what is the geometry? Trigonal planar. 4 electron pairs are present. Okay, geometry is a tetrahedral with a bond angle 109.5 degrees. 5 electron pairs are present. So the geometry is trigonal bipyramidal. So with a bond angle 2, one is 90, another one is 120 degrees. If the 6 electron pairs are present, so the bond angle is 90 degrees with a shape octahedral. So these are the regular geometries. So here the two important geometries. Normally we are using the term electronic geometry, molecular geometry. Electronic geometry means we need to be consider the electron pairs. Okay, we don't mind whether it is a bond pair or lone pair. The total number of electrons we are taken into the account, and based on that number of electron pairs, we can say like this so and so geometry. But molecular geometry means we never taken into the consideration of lone pairs. Only we are taken into the consideration of bond pairs. In that bond pairs, in which shape they are occupying the space around the central atom, that is we are taken into the account. That's why, so whenever the lone pair of electrons are present in addition to the bond pairs, so these geometries might be distorted. Suppose if 4 electron pairs are present around the central atom, if all 4 are bond pairs, okay, the geometry is tetrahedral geometry. So in a molecule, out of the 4 electron pairs, 3 are bond pairs, 1 is lone pair. Okay, the electronic geometry is tetrahedral, but the molecular geometry is pyramidal. The tetrahedral geometry is distorted, and finally we get the geometry, what is it? Pyramidal shape. But in both the cases, either the, say for example, for your understanding, CH4 and NH3 molecule is there, beta. In CH4, around the carbon, the 4 electron pairs are present. If the 4 electron pairs are present, what is the geometry of that molecule? 4 electron pairs, tetrahedral geometry. In the ammonia molecule, around the nitrogen, the 4 electron pairs are present. What is the electronic geometry of ammonia molecule? Electronic geometry is tetrahedral. But what is the molecular geometry? Molecular geometry means we need to be taken into the only these 3 bond pairs around the central atom. Okay, the shape of the molecule is pyramidal shape. So the electronic geometry changes to the pyramidal shape is because of the which one, beta? Presence of lone pair of electrons. That is the basic difference. Electronic geometry and molecular geometry. Electronic geometry means we need to be taken into the whether it is a bond pair or lone pair. Here the electronic geometry is tetrahedral because 4 electron pairs are present. But what is the molecular geometry means? What is that? We need to be taken into only the 3 bond pairs, how they are arranged in the space around the nitrogen. They are arranged in which space? Pyramidal. That means because of the presence of 1 lone pair of electron on the nitrogen, so the geometry is distorted. So that is from tetrahedral to which one? Pyramidal shape. So that is we say in the one of the postulate of the valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. Because of the presence of the lone pair of electrons in addition to the bond pair of electrons, so there is a distortion of geometry of a molecule. So like that is distorted. But basic geometries are this one. If 2 electron pairs, linear, 3 electron pairs, trigonal planar, 4 electron pairs, tetrahedral, 5 electron pairs, trigonal bipyramidal, 6 electron pairs, octahedral geometry. So now, how the geometry is distorted? What is the geometry we are getting different by presence of the different number of lone pairs around the central atom? That is discussed one by one. The very first one is, if two electron pairs are present, how many? Two electron pairs are present. The number of electron pairs are 2. So, in that, 2 are the bond pairs and 0 are lone pairs. The geometry of a molecule is linear. What is the geometry? Linear. So, if the number of electron pairs around the central atom 2, generally what is the geometry? Linear geometry. If the two electron pairs are bond pairs, then what is the geometry? Linear geometry. Similarly, if 3 electron pairs are present around the central atom, in that all the 3 are bond pairs, 0 lone pairs. What is the geometry of a molecule? The geometry of a molecule is trigonal planar. Trigonal planar. Suppose if the same 3 electron pairs are present, in that 2 are bond pairs, 1 is lone pair. 1 is lone pair, then what is the geometry of a molecule? So now, around the central atom, 3 electron pairs are present. What is the electronic geometry? Trigonal planar. But here, due to presence of the lone pair of electrons, the trigonal planar geometry is distorted, so that is changes to the bent shape. Which shape? Bent shape or V shape or angular shape. Electronic geometry is a trigonal planar. So, but molecular geometry is what is that? Bent shape or V shape or angular shape. So, here 4 electron pairs are present. If 4 electron pairs are present, in that 4 are bond pairs and 0 lone pairs. The geometry of the molecule is tetrahedral. What is the geometry? Is tetrahedral. Around the central atom 4 electron pairs are present. All the 4 are bond pairs. The electronic geometry is tetrahedral. Molecular geometry is also tetrahedral. If 4 electron pairs are present around the central atom, in that 3 are bond pairs, 1 is lone pair. What is the electronic geometry? Electronic geometry is tetrahedral. But what is the molecular geometry? The tetrahedral is distorted to pyramidal shape. Which shape? Pyramidal shape. Molecular geometry is pyramidal, but electronic geometry is tetrahedral. If 4 electron pairs are present, and in that 2 bond pairs, 2 lone pairs. What is the geometry of a molecule? The geometry of a molecule is angular shape or V shape. Angular shape or V shape. So, in this case also, so if 4 electron pairs are present, always the electronic geometry is tetrahedral. But molecular geometry is distorted is because of the 2 lone pair of electrons, that is to angular or V shape. Next comes to the 5 electron pairs are present. In the 5 electron pairs, all 5 are bond pairs. So 0 lone pairs. The geometry of a molecule is trigonal bipyramidal. Trigonal bipyramidal. In that 5 electron pairs, 4 are bond pairs, 1 is lone pair. 1 is lone pair. Electronic geometry is trigonal bipyramidal, but molecular geometry is distorted. Distorted trigonal bipyramidal. Distorted trigonal bipyramidal or seesaw. Seesaw. Out of the 5 electron pairs, 3 are bond pairs, 2 are lone pairs. The electronic geometry is trigonal bipyramidal, but molecular geometry is T-shaped. Which shape? T-shaped. Out of the 5 electron pairs, 2 are bond pairs, 3 are lone pairs. The geometry of a molecule is linear shape. Linear shape. Next, if 6 electron pairs are present, all the 6 are bond pairs, 0 lone pairs. The geometry of a molecule is octahedral. What is it? Octahedral. Out of the 6, 5 are bond pairs and 1 is lone pair is present around the central atom. Electronic geometry is octahedral, but molecular geometry is square pyramidal. Square pyramidal. Square pyramidal. Out of the 6, 4 are bond pairs, 2 are lone pairs are present. The geometry of a molecule is square planar. Square planar. So these are enough at your level up to 6 electron pairs. So now here around the central atom 2 electron pairs are present. All the 2 are bond pairs. So the electronic geometry and molecular geometry is the same, that is linear. If the 3 electron pairs are present around the central atom, all the 3 are bond pairs, the electronic geometry and molecular geometry will be remained same, trigonal planar. Out of the 3 electron pairs, 2 are bond pairs, 1 is lone pair. The electronic geometry is different from molecular geometry. Electronic geometry is 3 electron pairs. If 3 electron pairs, what is electronic geometry? Trigonal planar. But molecular geometry is changes because of the presence of lone pair of electron, that is bent shape or V shape or angular shape. And that means in both the cases, in these 2 cases, electronic geometry is trigonal planar. Trigonal planar. But molecular geometries, if all the 3 are bond pairs, trigonal planar, only 2 bond pairs, 1 lone pair, bent shape or V shape or angular shape. Suppose if 4 electron pairs are present, all the 4 are bond pairs, the electronic geometry and molecular geometry both are same, that is tetrahedral. So, out of that 4 electron pairs, 3 are bond pairs, 1 is lone pair. What is the molecular geometry? Pyramidal. But what is the electronic geometry? Electronic geometry means 4 electron pairs. If 4 electron pairs, what is that? Tetrahedral. Out of the 4 electron pairs, 2 are bond pairs, 2 are lone pairs. What is the molecular geometry? Angular shape or V shape. But what is electronic geometry? Tetrahedral. Because in all these 3 cases, 4 electron pairs are present. What is electronic geometry? Tetrahedral. But the molecular geometry changes as the number of unpaired electrons changes on the central atom. When it comes to the 5 electron pairs, all the 5 are bond pairs. What is the geometry? Trigonal bipyramidal. Out of the 5 electron pairs, 4 are bond pairs, 1 is lone pair. What is the geometry? Distorted trigonal bipyramidal or seesaw. If out of the 5, the 3 are bond pairs, 2 are lone pairs, what is the geometry of a molecule? T-shape. Out of the 5 electron pairs, 2 are bond pairs, 3 are lone pairs, the geometry of a molecule is linear. So, in all the 4 cases, so the electronic geometry will be remained same, that is trigonal bipyramidal. Because electronic geometry is related to the number of electron pairs present around the central atom. Trigonal bipyramidal. Because of the presence of the lone pair of electrons, the geometry is distorted. So that is we called molecular geometry. The 6 electron pairs are there. All the 6 electron pairs are bond pairs. The geometry is octahedral. Out of the 6 electron pairs, 5 are bond pairs.
if one is lone pair, the geometry is spare pyramidal. And out of the 6, 4 are bond pairs, 2 are lone pairs, the geometry is spare planar. In these 3 cases, the electronic geometry is octahedral. So when electronic geometry is the same as a molecular geometry, the number of electrons present around the central atom are bond pair of electrons. All the electron pairs are bond pair of electrons. Electronic geometry is same as the molecular geometry. If the number of electron pairs around the central atom is different from the number of bond pairs, the geometry is distorted and it changes to the another shape of a molecule. So this is about the electron pairs present around the central atom can be determined what is the geometry of a molecule. From this table form we can conclude that one statement is very clear. As the number of electron pairs changes around the central atom, the geometry of a molecule is changes. As the number of lone pair of electrons are changes, the distortion of the geometry is also takes place. And whatever these structures we written, so that is we can discuss in the next class with suitable examples. Thank you.